If selected today to play against St Johnstone, Johnny Hayes will make his 300th appearance for Aberdeen, which will take him level with Ali Shewan and Joe Harper in the all-time appearance list. St Johnstone and Aberdeen go into today's game at McDermott Park with identical records, having played 3, won 1 and lost 2. Kick-off at McDermott Park is coming up at 3 o'clock UK time. We currently sit in the bottom 6, but a win today will give us significant movement. Hi everybody, a very warm welcome to Ali Beg AB TV as we preview today's game against St Johnstone at McDermott Park. If you're watching for the very first time, hi, how are you? Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and join us on the journey. We've got so much coming up on the show today. Eugene Daddy is celebrating his 49th birthday today. I've got a soundbite from an old blog interview that I did with him where he tells me of a dying wish. It's coming up later. Don't miss it. I'll be talking to Jim Thompson because tomorrow there is a football programmes and memorabilia fair at Pittodrie. So I've caught up with Jim to chat about the fair and basically what you can expect. And we'll also be hearing from Daily Record sports journalist Robbie Hanratty. So lots to get through. Let's start by congratulating Duncan Shearer, who was yesterday inducted into Aberdeen's Hall of Fame. There's a very special dinner coming up very soon in the city to celebrate, and I understand there'll be at least 2 more inductees going into the Hall of Fame very soon. So Duncan, many congratulations, very richly deserved. Okay, I'm going to give you my tuppence on today's game a little bit later and what I felt about last week. But first, let's have a look at what I think will be the team today, because obviously there's going to be a couple of forced changes. So I think because Jack played last week, I think he'll come back in and I think he'll take his regular spot at left back. And I think that our pal Morris will come in as well. I think that Shaden will come in on the right-hand side. I could be wrong. It depends how Matt Kennedy is, but I think he will come in and get his first start for the Dons. And I think Bojan and Vicente will take their usual place just up in the hole. So that's what I think will be the team for today. Here's the match stats on the game. Aberdeen have only won 1 of their last 19 away Scottish Premiership games, which came against St Johnstone in December 2021. It's really not a good record. And the Dons have not lost back-to-back away league games against St Johnstone since January 1999. Our referee today is Craig Napier. Okay, I'm going to give you some thoughts on what I felt happened last week. I've written them down because what I'm hoping for is that last week was merely a bad day at the office and we've got it out of our system, and that potentially we needed a game to get it out of our system. So I'm now hoping that the lads have had a really good week in training. Jim Goodwin has actually come out and said they've had a fantastic reaction to Saturday's defeat, which is all we can ask for. So today, all I want is that we're at it from the start. I want us to be on the front foot looking for positive passes all the time. I want us to be more switched on, especially in our 18-yard box. I want us to be more positive psychologically. And I think if we do all of that, I am very confident that we will win the game today. Let's see if any of you have commented on YouTube so far. Let's have a little look. Here come the comments. Good morning to you all. Charlie Ross has said it will be weird seeing Andy Considine playing against us. God, it so will. Trust me, he's up for it today. Big time. Scotty Ladd has said, looking forward to today's game. I've got a feeling we'll come out firing after last week. I think you're right. Neil Sinclair has said some service about Johnny Hayes if selected. 300 games today for the club. Kaiser has said nothing but 3 points will do today. I agree. Rob Clark has said, totally agree with you. Well done, Duncan. Hopefully one of the best ones for the Hall of Fame will be Dougie Bell. I'll be speaking to Jim. I mentioned him earlier. Dougie Bell's going to be at Pittodrie tomorrow. So thank you for getting in touch. It's great to hear from you. Keep the comments coming in. Okay, let's get some thoughts now ahead of the Motherwell game from Daily Record sports journalist Robbie Hanratty. I spoke to him earlier today. We looked back on last week's game as well as looking ahead to today's game. Robbie Hanratty. How are you doing? Great to see you. Right, let's get straight on with it. First of all, I'd like your impressions of last week, first of all. What were your thoughts on last week?
Yeah, last week it was just a disappointing day all around. The fact that home to Motherwell, we thought we had a pretty, it's never easy in the league, any fixture, but we thought we had a good run of it in August. And to lose to Motherwell, who had been in limbo with not a permanent manager and everything, it's just bitterly disappointing. And especially some of the manner of the goals conceded. First goal, ball just in the box, no one tacks it in red and goes in. And to then end up ahead in that game, to lose the game and have so much time to try to get back into it. It was just like here we go again from last season. But in a sense, it's better, in my opinion, to get these bad results or little blips out the way now while the transfer window's still open and it's time to fine tune the squad rather than that result or performance happening in 2 months' time.
Okay, so what lessons do you think have been learnt from last Saturday?
I think it was probably a reality check. I think Jim Goodwin maybe touched on that in one of his press conferences for some of these new players because they've came in, stroked through the Premier Sports Cup group stages with ease, really, and weren't really tested. And even the first game of the season against Celtic, everyone kind of wrote that off. So being St Mirren, it's like, okay, there was that high for these new players. Everyone was loving them. And then suddenly, for example, Stewart been made captain. Very bold move from Jim Goodwin to put a new signing as captain. And I know Goodwin didn't want to single out players from performance against Motherwell, but he was one who just looked really off the pace. And it shows if he was building that partnership with Liam Scales, and then Liam Scales, due to Hayden Coulson's injury and Jack McKenzie's fitness, has moved to left back. And he's partnered with Ross McCrory, and I really like young Ross, and he added goals to his game in pre-season and all that. But it's a damning stat that he was part of that defence last season that kept so little clean sheets. So, in my opinion, that's a lesson I think the club in Goodwin should have learned last week, that you can't be moving the team about having to accommodate Scales at left back because it just affects the whole mojo of the team. And it's why I really think they need to be recruiting a versatile defender before the window shuts.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, let's finish on a more positive note. How do you see today going at McDermott Park?
Yeah, well, let's say positive, but going to McDermott Park's never an easy place, even under McInnes. It was always quite a stuffy ground to go to. But the good thing about this Aberdeen team, and put a positive spin on it, I even thought I've seen enough from Callum Morris on his cameo when he came on that direct running, looks to get them the byline in a change with his fellow fullback Richardson. I think going down to McDermott Park before last season, when you only had Ramirez to rely on for goals, really, or maybe Ferguson, you would think they've got to be really stuffy. We've got to still to break them down. But I think the unpredictability of this Aberdeen squad and a lot of new players, I'm cautiously optimistic that we can go away with 3 points. I was sitting for speaking to you thinking, I think we'll go away with 2-1. I don't think it'll be easy, but I do think that we can bounce back and get a victory because Miovski, that was a positive, and one thing we did learn from the Motherwell game, he can take a chance out of nothing, and he's a goal scorer. So I think against old pal Andrew Considine and guys like Adam Montgomery at McDermott Park, he can maybe get the better of them and bag a brace, hopefully.
Yeah, brilliant. Robbie, listen, thank you so much. Absolutely fantastic to see you. Thank you for coming on and contributing. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye, mate. Bye-bye. There you are. Thank you, Robbie. Keep up the great work on Facebook as well. It's a great site, the Dandy Dons of Aberdeen. So more of you have come on to comment on the YouTube page. Kaiser says, we're still short of a defender and midfield player. We've not got much cover at right back either. I still think there's business to be done. I really think that Jim Goodwin is looking at least one, if not two, maybe three more players. Let's see what the budget says. Neil Sinclair says, Anthony Stewart has got a mistake in him, has he not? He does, but I'm kind of hoping that he's I don't like to use the phrase settling in, but give him time. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Charles Craig has said, for many of our new players, last week was their first taste of how the majority of SPL teams set up. St Johnstone will play the same at home and will not let our wide players get to the byline. I completely agree. We know exactly what we're going to get from St Johnstone today, so it's up to us to make sure that we're at it, right? Okay, let's have a quick look and see what the manager has had to say. I've just picked out a quote for you. The big thing for me is what kind of reaction we get to that defeat and what is the response. I have to say that the reaction from Monday morning, as soon as the players came back into the building here, has been extremely positive. We're a very honest group of staff and as players, and when we get things wrong, we tend to hold our hands up. There's nobody hiding behind anything or trying to pass the buck. Couldn't agree more. Okay, let me tell you about a little event that's going on tomorrow at Pittodrie. It's the Scottish Football Programme and Memorabilia Fairs. Between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, entry is free, and they've got some amazing memorabilia. Earlier today, I caught up with one of the organisers, Jim Thompson, to talk about the fairs and what you people can expect if you want to go along. It's fantastic to see you, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me this morning, because I know obviously you must be very busy getting ready for tomorrow. So I'd like to begin by asking you where this idea came from. Where was it born from?
Well, thanks, Ali. Thanks for having me, and welcome to Pittodrie, the Legends Lounge at Pittodrie. Yeah, busy this morning getting ready for tomorrow. So the history of the fairs, well, programme fairs have been around for a long time, actually, from the late 70s, early 80s, and they were started by John Litster, the football historian, the Scottish football historian. And back then, you'll recall that programmes were probably the only, or the main source of information that people had for their clubs, particularly the kind of lesser clubs, or the lesser followed clubs. So programmes became very popular and very collectible. So the programme fairs started from there. And in the heydays of programme fairs, very, very popular. And over 2,000 used to attend at McLennan Galleries in Glasgow for these type of events. Such was their popularity. But of course, time moves on, and the internet became something that everyday life, and then eBay came into being. So people found that it was a lot easier to sell and buy on these kind of platforms and go to programme fairs. So their popularity dipped, and although they didn't go away, they probably weren't as well, they certainly weren't as well attended. So for my own personal involvement, I was also lost to the hobby. As a youngster, I sold programmes at Anfield Park for Stirling Albion. I'm a Stirling Albion fan, and I forgive Aberdeen for what they did to us recently in the League Cup. So I sold programmes for Stirling Albion, but life catches up with you. I got engaged to my now wife. I got a job that involved shifts, and my programme collecting fell by the wayside because I wasn't getting to the games. Fast forward to lockdown, and like us all, in my attic, doing the much needed clear out of the attic, and I found old programmes. So the attic clear up stopped as I regaled all these great stories from my programmes to my two boys who are still in Albion season ticket holders as well. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and get back into this, if it is such a thing. I didn't know. So as much as the internet had almost killed the hobby, it was still keeping it alive. And because I joined Facebook, joined the Scottish Football Programme Facebook page, run by Ken Morton, who will be here tomorrow, and found that the collecting community was still very much alive, possibly a bit older, fewer in number, but they were still a very active community. And there was only one real fair on the go at that particular point, which was Glasgow. And the rest of Scotland was kind of not ignored, it's just nobody else was interested in holding these fairs elsewhere in the country. So what I did was I put on a kind of notice to see if anybody would be interested in one, if I was able to get one at Stirling. And Ali, the interest was overwhelming. People contacted me from all over the country, from down south. I'll take tables at your fair. I'm a programme dealer, I'll take tables at the fair at Stirling. We had it in October last year and over 170 attended, which was fantastic. And then by default, I took on the Glasgow Fair as well. And I thought, why not just try it this year anyway, take it around the country to see if the interest is still there. So far, we've had Stirling, Glasgow and Dumfries just last month attracted over 250. So the numbers are growing. The interest in this fair has been phenomenal on our social media pages. I don't think there's any other set of fans more vocal than Aberdeen fans to get a fair at Pittodrie. So delighted to be bringing it up here.
Okay, so if people go tomorrow, what can they expect?
Okay, whether you're a season collector or you're just an interested party, there'll be something here for you. We've got 14 vendors coming tomorrow, all with a varied mix of programmes, essentially, going back to the very early days. And for Aberdeen fans in particular, I know that this 1947 Scottish Cup final programme will be here for sale and for looking at. But for clubs, all clubs, yeah, I know, bring your money, bring your pocket money.
When's that flight?
So tomorrow, though, but it's not just for Aberdeen fans. We're holding it at Pittodrie, obviously, because it's quite an iconic venue for us to hold it in Aberdeen. But it's for fans of all clubs, including the Highland League. I'm hoping that a lot of collectors from the further north can get here. All other kind of clubs as well, supporters of all clubs can attend here because there will be such a mixture, and it will go back, and it's from all kinds of tournaments, including internationals.
Okay,
but not just programmes. We'll have badges, tickets, prints, cards, stickers, all kinds of memorabilia will be here tomorrow.
Brilliant. If you could pick one favourite item which is going to be there tomorrow, and I think you might have given it away already, do you have a particular favourite item?
I've got lots, but the one I have, and it's not for sale, but I have it with me just to show you this morning, Ali, is in 1966, when there was another tournament down south that took the attention of the world. Stirling Albion were the first club to tour Japan, first British club to tour Japan. They played 4 games against AEK Athens, Tehran, and 2 games against a Japanese international select. This is the programme for the games, and these are the tickets. Which I have in my collection. So they're not for sale, but if anybody wants to see them, I'll certainly have them with me tomorrow. Very, very dear to me. I don't think there's very many of these in circulation anymore, but it means a lot to me, and that's my personal favourite programme. Programmes are favourites to collectors for various different reasons. It could be the first game you were at, a popular one, obviously. The first game at a new stadium, a record win, a cup win. First game with your son or daughter, first game with your grandson and daughter. There's so many different reasons why people have favourite programmes, and that's why they have such a wide appeal. Okay,
just to finish off, Dougie Bell is going to be there tomorrow, which is fantastic to see.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be there signing memorabilia and also raising money for his own charity. Is that right?
Yes. That's right. So Dougie's coming up tomorrow in his own time, and he recently wrote a book, Signing Twice for Fergie. A lot of people know it, a lot of people have bought it, but he'll be signing those books and selling those books tomorrow. Right. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, Dougie lost his wife Hazel, and to do his bit for the Beatson's charity, cancer charity, and the local hospice where Hazel was looked after, Dougie's selling these books, and all the proceeds will go to that charity. So if fans want to come along, chat with Dougie, get their book signed, or bring any kind of memorabilia from that era that they want Dougie to sign, he's quite happy to do so for a small donation to the charity, which just says everything about the guy. He's a legend in Scottish football, part of an iconic team, so to have him here tomorrow is a great honour.
Fantastic. Jim, listen, the very best of luck tomorrow. I'm sure it will be a roaring success, and keep up the great work, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, Ali. All the best.
Brilliant.
Take care.
All the best, mate. Take care. Bye-bye. So there's one last reminder for tomorrow. If you can get along to Pittodrie between 10 and 2 p.m, admission is free. Why not go along and meet the legend that is Dougie Bell? He'll be there to sign his book and also help raise money for his own charity after his wife very sadly passed away. Okay, guys, keep the messages coming in. So many guys have said, I had a programme from the dreaded Skonta Riga match. I don't think folk would want it. I think you're quite right. Rod Cow has said, I'm sure the lads will be back on their game today. I agree. Well, I hope so anyway. Scott W has said, I really don't think we should be dwelling on last week's performance. We have to keep looking forward. We've generally played well so far, so we have to remain positive. I see us winning 2-1 today. I have to say, that's my prediction as well. Okay, so as promised, Eugene Daddy celebrates his 49th birthday today. Now, as most of you know, Eugene only had one solitary season playing for us at the turn of the millennium. And a couple of years ago, I caught up with him for a blog, which you can read on my blog page. But I thought that I would take out a soundbite from that interview to let you know how deep his love for you, the fans, us, the fans, and the football club is. This is his dying wish.
I've played one season, and I haven't scored that many goals. It's just, they are just special to me. That will be like forever. That will be forever. You know what? What will be funny is like if let be sad a little bit. It's like if I pass, I would allow it to be cremated and to have my things just being on that pitch.
Really?
Ah, man, yeah. Don't care if they want to. Yes, I would love that. To tell you how just to tell you how much they're special to me. That club, the fans.
So you would like your ashes to be scattered at Pataudry?
Yeah.
There you go. Unbelievable. You can read the entire interview on my blog site, alibeg.com. I've got lots and lots of these interviews from all the blogs that I did, and the aim going forward is to actually sort of convert them into videos so that you can watch them, and I'll stick them all on here. A really interesting note came in from Charles Craig. Hi Charles, how are you? Hope the fair goes well tomorrow. Match programmes and the treasured items everyone collects are so beneficial for those living with dementia and their families. It stimulates reminiscence. I'm not sure if you've seen at Pataudry, there's a group and which Charles is with, where they bring in a lot of fans who are starting to suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's. And they bring in a lot of memorabilia to try and evoke memories. I've been very lucky to go down there and spend an afternoon with the guys, and they do a fantastic job. And they sometimes get the ex-players to go down there as well. So keep up the great work, guys. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, just to finish off, a couple of little bit of sort of housekeeping for you. Don't forget, we've got this brunch with Eric Black on the 18th of September at Mary Kuta House Hotel. We're also now actually thinking about streaming that event live here on my YouTube page. So I'd be very keen to gather your thoughts on streaming it live, and if we were to say charge a £5 to watch it. But if you can come along, please do, because it'll be a fantastic morning. And coming up after, I'll be reporting live from our game today at St Johnstone for the big Saturday football show on North Sound between 2 and 6. So if you're out and about and you want live updates, I'll be bringing you those live updates with Ewan Cameron and Stephen Mill a little bit later today. Okay, guys, we are done. Thank you so much for being involved in today's show. Hope you've enjoyed it. All that's left to say is the very best of luck to the Dons today. Let's hope we get back on it and get back to winning ways. And I'll see you on Monday for the preview show. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.